Wait. Okay, I guess we're live. Welcome back to Play It Painted Live. I am just getting set up here to paint and having a little Diet Coke here before I get started. So yeah, tonight really had nothing in mind other than doing some painting, and I just got back from vacation. I figured, hey, let's just do one of these feeds. See if anybody is interested in chatting. If not, I'll just have some video of me painting, which I can delete later. So, let me get things ready here. So if you are catching this feed, thank you for watching and welcome to the show. We'll need a little bit more water apparently. So yeah, I'm going to have to go get myself some water. So yay, so far, that exciting. So one sec, let me get some water. Okay, so here we are. Now tonight I don't have a whole lot to paint. We're only going to paint one model. But at least it's an interesting model. This is an officer from the game Eldorado. And I haven't painted anything in like a week, so we're just going to jump right back into it and hopefully not ruin a really perfectly good model. So here we go. Here's the model. This is Abezeth from Eldorado, one of the Inferno miniatures, Abezeth being a really fantastic model in my opinion. So we'll be painting him. Now I'm going to look over the model here and kind of get an idea of what I want to do. You know, this looks like basic angel in armor style thing. So I'm going to start with you know, kind of a fair skin, just like an angel would be, and then I'll add some effects to that later. As far as the cloth and the clothing, probably going to stick with a white there. Then I'm going to do you know, I'm going to do mostly gold looking, you know, brass or gold looking armor here. So that's the basics of it. One of the first questions coming up is, do I paint eyes on this model? Because a lot of these fallen angels, they don't have they have eyes, but they don't have pupils, and so that might look a little bit less supernatural if I paint pupils in. But I put pupils in on what's her name, Azalea. So I might do the same here for Abezeth. Just because I don't know, never really done the no pupil, make your model look a little bit more powerful thing. You guys let me know if you think I should put pupils in or not. I know most people aren't going to put pupils in here. One option is I could do like those glowing yellow eyes and no pupil, which is not a bad option, but we'll see. Anyway, this is just going to be a straight brush job here, so nothing too fancy. If you are catching the feed, thank you for joining Play It Painted Live. If you like, go ahead and leave us a note in the comment section about what you're painting or what you should be painting right now, because if you guys are in the miniature wargaming hobby, chances are, like me, you have some stuff that's sitting around that needs to be painted. And I was kind of saving Abezeth here for a night where I could just relax and paint one miniature. You know, and I'm not under a timeline. This is my own miniature. This is not a commission. Unlike a lot of times on the live show, I am painting a commission piece. So just gonna do. So for now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint in some regular old eyeballs, because if you know, if I want to go like glowy yellow eyes or, you know, anything like that, I can always go back in and change the eyeballs. The main point right now is to try to get some shape around the eyeballs, get the eyeballs to look nice before I move on to skin, because skin is always kind of a more elaborate affair, I suppose. Okay, so mixing up some white here. So yeah, if you are watching, feel free to pop a comment or a question in the YouTube live feed, or you can hop on Google Plus and shoot me a question that way. Okay. He does look kind of cool without the pupils in right now. He does look like powerful, supernatural. So maybe I do something crazy, like I do a light blue or something like that for the pupils. Let's see if we have any comments. One comment, Tori Ling. I was painting up some Grey Knight Squad, Strike Squad, and Drago. I've done a lot in the past few days, but I'm taking a short break and getting back to painting tomorrow at my local GW. That's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Thanks for hopping on the live feed and telling me what you're going to be painting. It looks like sounds like you're doing pretty well, keeping up with your Grey Knights army there. So that's good news, man. It's good to hear. It encourages me to hear about your guys' projects, and I hope that you guys get some encouragement from watching me paint stuff and finish projects as well. I'm going to try something crazy here, a little bit of electric blue on the eyeballs. It may not come out, but you know, it's not that big a deal. If it doesn't come out, it's fine. I go back, I hit it with yellow ink or something like that, and we handle it that way. All right, so I'm actually into Game Color right now, because Game Color has those vibrant colors, kind of like GW has a vibrant color palette. So does Game Color. I realize watching me paint eyes on this type of feed is somewhat pointless, because you can't really make out what I'm doing other than just going in and dotting an eye. I did actually paint Azalea, my Azalea model. I gave her these really bright blue eyes. And I don't know, I just think if they're fallen angels, they would have these brightly colored eyes. Whoa. I went super overboard there. Let me fix that. So let me, while we're kind of doing nothing of interest on the painting side of things, let me tell you guys about where I was in this past week, because I've been out the entire week. I just got back this morning. I was on a family cruise, which was interesting. So my dad turned 75, and for his 75th birthday, he wanted to take everyone on this fun little cruise. So he went ahead and I helped him book a cruise for 30 people. That is, our entire immediate family, and so, children, grandchildren, and in his case, great grandchildren. That totaled to be 30 of us in 11 cabins on this cruise. The cruise was a 4-day cruise that went through Catalina and Ensenada, so real short cruise here off Southern California. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun being with the entire fam. And my main stress for the cruise was first off getting it all coordinated, because I was kind of the main coordinator guy. Then I had to do all of our. I did family T-shirts too, which was interesting and funny. I always used to think it was hilarious when people did family T-shirts, and I wanted to do one for my dad to commemorate it, and it turned out to be a pretty big hit with the family. I took a picture. I took one of my parents, an older picture of my parents, scanned it in, sent it into custom ink, and printed out 30 different T-shirts for everyone to wear. And so on the first day of the cruise, while we were embarking, everyone is wearing these T-shirts. And the other thing that was cool about that is that turned out to be really convenient, because on a ship it can be hard to find people, especially with everyone in their own cabins and whatnot. But wandering around the ship, we were all pretty much able to find each other. Eventually we all gathered up and had our dinner together as one big party, like we did every night. And the shirts were a big hit. We took a group photo with everyone in their shirts. And it sounds like a super dorky thing, trust me, but it was really cool because we got 100% participation in this, and there were certain family members that I thought, teenagers or people that just kind of into their own thing. I was worried that they would not really be down to wear this dorky, somewhat embarrassing shirt. But turned out to be a hit, not only within our family, but within all the other passengers on the cruise were really interested in what we were doing, and they were, seeing my dad and wishing him a happy birthday because of the shirts. And even if a few people even offered to buy the shirts, they thought it was cool just for kind of the kitsch factor, because it's like this 1980s photo of a couple. And then it says like Romy's birthday cruisers on it, which is hilarious. So that was really fun. The rest of the cruise was good family stuff. Just running around on the ports of call, and I don't know, just good times. Spending time with our family is always good in it. And trips like these are nice because they get us all together, and we get to kind of focus in and celebrate being with each other, which is awesome. Ever since I had my kid, I think I've become like more of a sappy family guy. So, I've been doing a lot for the family lately, and just trying to do my part, step up, and help all of us enjoy each other's company. So yeah, that's where I've been. There was Wi-Fi on the boat, which I actually had purchased some, but it is really, really horrible. The Wi-Fi on our ship goes through a satellite, and the satellite then kicks off to an internet server in Germany. So you can imagine, being on a ship off the coast of Mexico, how long it's going to take for pages to load, and how long it would take for you to really get anything done on that type of that quality of a signal. So it was pretty bad. Pretty bad stuff. Nothing great to write home about there. All right, so now that the eyes are in, just doing my undercoat for flesh here, and this is Vallejo Game Color Deep Skin Tone. Very important to note that this is the extra opaque deep skin tone. Don't just buy a Vallejo Game Color skin tone, because you might get the wrong. Even if you got the shade right, it may not hide as well as this undercoat does. And one of the main goals with this undercoat is actually to get to frame the face and then make sure everything is nice and hidden. Okay. Now, what I normally do for skin is I actually blend my skin all the way up. This is a lengthier process than the other parts of the model typically. Although in this model, I can see that we may be spending a lot of time in lots of other areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding some of this Vallejo model color basic skin tone to my game color here. And it's going to turn it kind of yellow-ish and maybe even a little bit pink. But that's not bad. That's kind of what we want here. So I'm gonna mix this up. This is going to give me the second part of my undertone. So I'm going to do a double undertone like this. Sometimes I do two different colors. Sometimes I do three. We're going to see how this one blends. See if I want to do a third or not. You can see this kind of kicks back a, what's the word I'm looking for? This is kind of a latte color almost for the skin. And you can switch to a bigger brush at this point. I'll switch to just my basic Army Painter brush, because I'm going to hit the undercoat now that everything's framed. You know, I feel like I can maneuver around eyeballs and fine detail and stuff like that faster. And it's kind of a general painting tip here. You pretty much always want to paint with the largest brush you are comfortable with. And the main criteria is making sure you have a nice point on that brush when you're painting stuff, because don't make the mistake of, okay, because this is a 10, a 10-0, that this smaller brush is automatically going to be better for fine details like eyes and whatnot. That's not really true. In fact, a lot of times those brushes are more difficult to do fine detail in, because with such a small body to the brush, you can end up with stuff drying, and that wouldn't be very fun. So here we go here. So far I'm just going to paint him up like a regular looking dude with some really bright blue eyes. Nothing of note yet. Okay. Okay. Oops, I forgot this other part here, which is flesh. This is a really cool looking model. Eldorado has, on the miniature, the gaming side, Eldorado has really kind of taken root with me. It was easy to say earlier in the year, even last year, that I was a fan of the game, and I was learning more and more about the game. But I mean, it's really, with me personally, it has really taken root, and I am enjoying this game more and more every time I play it. It's just a fantastic game, fantastic setting, and to me it does a lot of things right that I think a lot of other more popular games do wrong. One of those being fantastic miniatures. All right, let's look at some comments here real quick. Yeah, paint flying all over the place. Okay. Corey Briggs, I wish I could join in. Yeah, you can if you want, Corey. Let me know. We can put you in. Yeah, gotta have some. you have something that you specifically want to talk about, let me know, and we can take care of that. Tori Ling, painting eyes. I normally turn the model upside down. I normally do one eye. I normally do the right eye, right side up facing me, and then I'll turn the model upside down to dot in the other eye typically. On camera, I try to keep them the same because just, I guess, that's what we do. All right, so got the undertone here. Now I'm going to come in with a wash. And the wash I use on flesh is the Seraphim Sepia. It's a GW, or it's a GW wash. It's not necessarily for flesh. I don't think a lot of people use a darker. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that weird internet hiccup going on here. I'm actually testing out the difference between the sepia wash and the game color wash. And yeah, the game color wash is a little dirtier than the sepia wash, so for this model, I'm going to stick with the sepia wash. So it looks like our viewers dropped out, which kind of sucks. But we're back. I will reload. See, make sure that we're still live. Okay. We are still live. Robert Nolan, I must be old as it's getting late for me and you're just starting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you live in the... I don't think you live in Pacific time zone, but it is kind of late anyways. It's like close to 10 o'clock and I'm just starting. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and apply our sepia wash here on the model. This is just to give it a little bit of shadow and blend those two undercoats. I like that it serves as a really nice shaded backdrop for the blending that I'm about to be doing here on this model. So that makes it fun. Okay, so sepia shade on the face. Main parts to hit here are the lips, anywhere where flesh is bordering on hair or clothing or armor. So you kind of want to use it to frame. And there you have it. Okay. So put this wash down. There it goes. And we're going to give this a little bit of time to dry before I go back in and start layering and highlighting the model up. Okay, so there we go. Nice and simple. What I'm going to do while this is drying is I am going to stick it to a stand here. So and just use a cork, or sometimes what I really like to use are these. I like to use these old paint pots from get the name of the company. Hold on. Name of this. All the labels melted off now, but it's an older like Ralph Partha style bottle. It's just a good width here for me to hold on to, and you just put your fun tack on top of that. There we go. So now that he's mounted, now I can actually do the work of really painting the miniature up. One other thing while that is drying is I'm actually going to start to paint the base here, because I've got him on kind of like this Wounded Earth style base. So I'm going to paint a kind of a fleshy undertone. So it's just going to be a drop of red, and I'm going to mix that into some pink. Welcome back to the viewers who have hopped back on to watch them play it painted live. Appreciate that. So I'm going to do that. So kind of mixing up a kind of a fleshy undertone here, and I'm just going to paint in the base, the under what I consider to be the ripped up exposed flesh of the base, because to me these look like giant wounds over flesh. I think that's what they are supposed to be anyway. And I'm just going to paint those in. You don't have to be terribly precise with this, because you're actually going to go back in and do the real work of the base later. So there's that, and I might as well just hit this eyeball here in this little fissure right there. Okay. Alright, so yeah, if you are watching, welcome to the show. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Alright, so let's get back to the flesh here. Oh, I'll reload comments one more time. See what we got. Alright, 5 comments. Net hiccups are sometimes annoying. It was like, how did this internet go out? And then I answered myself, that could be it. Scary sometimes I talk to myself. Yeah. Yeah, I've been having some weird internet issues here locally. I guess they're doing some work out here with wiring or whatnot. So apologies if internet goes in and out. I can already see that my signal, and I'm right next to my own router, so see that my signal is still fluctuating. So if this doesn't work out, I apologize, but I'm just going to keep painting, and we're going to hope for the best. Okay, so now I'm going to come in and using that same color, the same color that I ended with prior to the wash. Now I'm going to come in and highlight using that color. And that's actually going to get me restarted and get to pick up right where I left off in terms of the layering and highlighting. There we go. This is a really cool model. Glad that I'm just sort of painting this at a leisurely pace. This is a very leisurely pace for me. Just to be able to, slowly go around the model and pick out parts that I want to layer up or highlight. Alright. So there we go. I need to check something on my phone too while I'm here. Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay. Alright. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add some more basic skin tone and just highlight up. So more basic skin tone to this mix. A little more water. Got like a fruit fly in here. It's super annoying. Go away, fruit fly. No. Alright, so let's mix this up. It's going to give me obviously a lighter color, and I'm just going to go like your basic highlighting. Fewer and fewer parts of the model each time. Do a highlight. So you can actually, for the final highlight, I may come back in with my much smaller Winsor Newton. Take care of this guy. Here comes this highlight. This highlight's going to be pretty quick. Okay. So yeah, that was a little summation of my vacation. We got back today, and following up on the stuff over at both SoCal Tabletop and the Cypher Group and some of my other friends. What they've been doing this week, and trying to see if I can actually line up some gaming this weekend, because this is the last couple of days of my vacation, so I might as well try to enjoy it playing games that I want to play. So here we go. Okay. Looking decent. Alright, so now let's go ahead and do the final highlight. Now for the final highlight, I often just do straight basic skin tone. I'm trying to get this gnat, or this fruit fly. It's really bothering me. It's really annoying. Come on, buddy. Land. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm just going to go with basic skin tone this time. And I'm going to thin it down. And I'm going to highlight, I'm going to apply the highlight with the super, super small brush that I've got. Now, if you really want to blend these, the flesh here to super, super smooth standard, I highly recommend, instead of thinning with water, you can thin with glaze medium, which is fantastic stuff. But tonight we're just gonna thin with water. And that fruit fly, I'm gonna get that fruit fly. Super annoying. So This is the final highlight. So tops of the cheeks only, tip of the nose, tip of the chin, and then you can do like on the muscle tone here, tops of the muscle tone, the knuckles. And then we're actually gonna put some woundage on this model, because this model is a fallen angel, obviously, and looks like he's been beat up a little bit. All right, so there's that. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you recall that pink red solution, I'm going to take some of this basic skin tone, and I'm going to mix it into this reddish solution here, just like that. And we're going to paint in some of the wounds here, like he's got the little crucified spike here. So I'm going to paint in a reddy pink dot of that right there, and one there. And he's got a couple of puncture marks here in his arm. So I'm going to paint that in. There we go. And there you have it. And now just take the mix with a little bit of the flesh. And it's okay to do this while the other layer is still drying. Just gives it a kind of a softer blend, and that's okay. That's going to be fine here. All right. So now there's that. So now I have a couple of whites that I need to do on this armor. So I've got on the model. So I have the whites of the wings here, which are going to be a warm white. Then I have the whites of the cloak here, which is going to be a not so warm white. All right, so let's start with the cool white. And you guys might have remembered how I do this on the other video. We start with the azure. So in the Vallejo model color range again. So I'm going to start with some azure. And I'm going to start painting in this cloak and the other cloth bits. A little bit of water here. Wow. Aha, got it. Haha. Triumphant. I hate those things when they want to fly into your water or your open drink or whatever. It's like some of them are just bad at it, and it's like a death wish, and they just fly directly into it, and you end up drinking fruit flies and gnats and all that wonderful stuff. Okay, so undercoat, azure. So let me ask you guys a question, those of you that are watching right now. If you guys paint and you play, for every hour that you are playing, how many hours of painting go into that? And I know that a lot of that's based on the game, so let's take a couple of examples. We can take a skirmish game, and we can take a full-scale war game. So let me know. You have a plan. Tori's got a question for me here anyway. Let me answer that one first before we get into our discussion about painting and playing. Any plans for the 4th of July? Well, as it turns out, we do have plans for the 4th of July. I have plans with my wife to go watch fireworks at her, I guess this is her stepdad / father-in-law's place in Mission Viejo. So he's got a house there by the lake, and we normally sit out there and watch the fireworks show. Not very exciting. That weekend, though, as a club, we've got Anime Expo going on in the LA Convention Center. And I am very, very looking forward to that show. I will be working that on Saturday, July 5th, running demos of Super Dungeon Explorer and Anima Tactics. So we got that to look forward to. But yeah, for the 4th proper, I'm just going to sit around and watch some fireworks. I wish I could work AX that day, but I think my wife would murder me if I wanted to do something like that. What about you? Tori, you have any plans for the 4th? You do any gaming, or you got family that you're going to be at? Anything like that, let us know. Alright, so just doing the undercoat here. Ooh, making a mess of things. Because of the weird angle of the leg here. Alright, so if you want to let me know what's going on for 4th of July. I guess to anyone else that's watching right now, let us know what you're doing for 4th of July. Good enough topic. Reload comments here. I'm going kind of slow. You know, I haven't painted in just about a week, so nearly enough. Okay, so here's Tin Man. What's up, man? Not nearly enough time painting compared to time spent playing. Interesting. So you do, you know, your priority is the playing. So it looks like you do a lot more playing than you do painting. So yeah, I think for me it's skewed these days. It's skewed more towards painting. So I'm probably painting, you know, 5 to we'll say 5 to 11 hours for every hour. Now I don't know if that's true. Let's see. On an average week, I will be painting. I'll paint between 11 and 15 hours. So let's call it 12 hours worth of painting a week. Okay. So I'm painting 12 hours, and I get about 3 to 4 hours of play per week. So I would guess my ratio is around, you know, 4 hours painting for every hour of play that I get to play. And I'm playing all these skirmish games and SDE and stuff like that. So not playing giant 40K or anything like that. Just playing skirmish games, and it's a good ratio for me because, you know, I can do the painting during the week or like off hours like I am right now, and it's fine. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm gonna hit the other undercoat color for the warm side, which is the wings, and that base coat is gonna be this color here, Iraqi Sand. I'm gonna reload comments here. Okay, I gotta work on the 4th. That's Tin Man. So Tin Man's gotta work. That sucks. Tori Ling, it's been a tough year with family, so I'm not stressing the 4th. I personally don't go crazy about it. Yeah, it's not. I'm not a big 4th of July guy. I mean, fireworks are cool and all, but when we live this close to Disneyland, you see fireworks all the time. Not that big a deal for us. Let's see. Anything else? Nope. Okay, that's where we're at so far. So let's get going on this Iraqi Sand undercoat. So 2 different kinds of white and lots of weird opportunities for NMM on this model. So this is kind of a fun model from a layout standpoint. You get to do lots of different things. So I'm just gonna hit this with a quick undercoat of Iraqi Sand. Let me know if you think I should have gone more yellow with this, but I think we're okay. I think I may actually have a wash that's gonna work pretty well here, but I don't want to don't want to use a wash on Abezeth here. Okay, so there's that. You notice I moving really quickly on this undercoat, and that's because it's not so important for me to have the entire model hide. I just want to make sure that you know, the crevices are going to remain this Iraqi sand color. And then there's also like white, I guess, white wrapping on the weapon here, the sickle, which I haven't decided what color I want the sickle to be. I don't even know. This is a really awesome model, though. Man, what a great... I love Eldorado. There's no way that being able to paint models like this at your leisure, you know, in a very low model count, and a very, for me, a very a game that's rich in both strategy and tactics. It's just such a treat. Just such a treat. Really does fill out my hobby the way I like it to be. Where I'm painting, where I can enjoy painting some really fantastic models, and Cypher just does the best job, I think. Cypher models are just ridiculous. I'm going to do that. And then, you know, you get to play a really, really fun game with these once you're done. Okay. Mold line in a weird place there, but no one will ever see that. Not such a big thing. Okay. So, now we've got both of our whites undercoated, or undertoned, really. Now to start mixing the actual white in. So I'm going to do white. We're going to do start with a cool white, because that's probably dry by now. It should be drying. So I'm going to mix some this white into the azure. Wow. I might need to come back and restock on paints here pretty soon. Okay. So all I do, I'm going to blend this. And if you notice, I'm not terribly scientific about how I blended that. I just sort of mixed it in. Because this first highlight color is also an undercoat. So it's not going to be terribly precise going down. And it doesn't have to be, you know, it's part of this fast technique for white is you're really just you're just sort of overbrushing in the beginning. The main thing though is you don't want your brush strokes to be like hairy, like thick and messy looking. So make sure your paints are really properly thinned when you're doing this, so that you don't leave crazy brush strokes everywhere, which is very easy to do when you're overbrushing stuff. It's very easy to leave brush strokes in. And then for the quality of the white, you're just going to keep highlighting up until you're happy with the tone. Because you can see here as I come back into an area that already been previously highlighted with the exact same color, haven't added any more white, you can see the richness of the white coming in pretty strong now. Now, as white as this might look on camera, this actually isn't very white at all when you're looking at it, when you're staring at it in real life. It's almost like a, because for you GW users there, it's almost like a Space Wolf gray. I don't know. I know they don't have that name of color anymore, but whatever they call Space Wolf gray, that's what it is. That's what it looks like. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna come in. And painting white really isn't that bad. Once you get the main trick is getting the liquid to the right consistency fast, and then it's really just, you know, your instincts with regards to where you should be highlighting. It's really not that bad. Okay, looking pretty good actually. All right, now I could actually just highlight with straight white. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to do mostly like almost 90% white. So I'm going to shoot a little bit of white right there. Then add a little water. And then finally I'm going to take this light blue mix, a brush full of it only, and then mix it into the white. And that's going to give me my actual highlight color, second highlight color, which is almost true white. And it just becomes super simple. Right? Actually, get this out of the way. I'm going to change the angle here, so you can see it, make out a little bit better what I'm doing. Okay. So here's Abezeth. I'm doing another overbrush, but now I'm starting to get a little more picky about how and where my highlights are landing. Again, the main thing is try to avoid the brush strokes. Try to avoid the hairiness. Especially with such a high pigment color like white. It's very easy to make it look crusty, which is terrible. Especially in a model like this, like an angelic officer. You want your lines to be nice and smooth, nice and clean, subtle. So, if you really want to do that, like I was saying, mix this in, instead of thinning with water, thin with glaze medium, and do lots and lots and lots of layers. Like, do an obsessive amount of layers. Trust me, it'll look fantastic. So, okay. So here's the back side. What a fantastic model. Now, one other thing I'd point out with white is your highlights are going to be big. They're going to be bigger than they typically are on other colors, because if you don't cover enough parts of this model in actual white, it's going to look more like a blue cloak or blue loincloth as opposed to a white one. So you really want most of the model to at least feel what I call feel white. It doesn't have to be actually white, but it has to feel white, so that the eye gets the impression that it's looking at white, that it's not looking at a really, really light blue, which is in reality what they are looking at. This really is just a really, really light blue that gets highlighted up. And you can put white. You can finally highlight all the way back up to white And I do that a lot of times, especially with these Eldorado angelic type miniatures. I just think to me it looks right. It looks more in the spirit of, say, Abezeth or Azalea, anything like that. So here we go. And remember, lots and lots of layers. As soon as you're done with the first one, move right along, move into the second one. What a fun model. And I have him on the awesome Wargamma Mr. Dandy base, resin base. Whatever this is called, damaged earth or scorched earth or something like that. Okay. Looking pretty good. Looks like I didn't really highlight the final flesh highlight very well. That's kind of a bummer. Maybe I can fix that real quick. Maybe. Okay, so here we are. Now it's time to do the same thing. Well, let's do white. Let's do actual white. And I'm going to go super thin. Now I could do glaze medium here, but again, glaze medium is good if you can get the mixture down right and fast, and you don't end up wasting too much medium. I waste a lot of just water and matte medium and stuff when I'm painting, so I'm less likely to actually break out the glaze medium to do something like this. I'd rather just paint it out, paint it and bear it. Okay, looking good. Looking like a tabard of a fallen angel there. Thanks for joining us on Play It Painted Live. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the YouTube comment section, or you can leave them on Google+, or you can post it on one of the Facebook groups that I created, either SoCal Tabletop or the Cypher Studios fan Facebook. Okay. The other thing to note when you're highlighting, white, always go in the same direction. Just to, again, you want to avoid a fuzzy white. Alrighty. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the wings, but now we're just working with Iraqi sand. I might need to pick up some white at some point. Alright, so let's mix up this Iraqi sand. I'm going to reload comments here real quick, see if you guys have any other comments. Tin Man asks, ever try any of those secret weapon washes? Actually, I have not. I'm interested. I've heard good things about them, but never tried any myself. Okay, Tori Ling, if I paint, if I have models to paint in the mood, I'm normally in the GW store, so the hours are between 12 to 5, 12 to lunch to 6 on Tuesday to Friday, and 12 to lunch to 9 on Saturday. At home, I just paint at the computer. And sometimes playing games. I want to play more games. I got 3 main armies and ready to play. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm itching. I've been on vacation this week, and I am itching to play some Eldorado now. Really want to get in a game or two or 5. That's how much I really do love Eldorado. I really do love the game. No, I'm just gonna I'm gonna try not to fanboy out on it, but I know me, I probably will. All right, so same deal. Just overbrush with the now the mix of Iraqi sand and white, and go big on your overbrush. Don't worry too much about hitting exact spots on this layer. You're gonna get more precise as the layers build up, and that's fine. But this layer can be okay. The main thing is don't leave a fuzzy overbrush. And and that's one of the like cardinal sins people do when they're dry brushing, is they leave too much paint on the dry brush, and they can't handle when they've got they can't handle it when they've got that fuzzy appearance from dry brushing. You can actually fix a lot of that with washes. So bear that in mind too. You can hear my cat. He's fun. That's George. Now my cats have been kind of sad because we were out on vacation this whole week. So George is probably just looking forward to spending some time here with Dad. Or he's hungry. But I don't think it's that, because we have already fed them. And we feed our cats twice a day, so they eat better than a lot of people do that I know. All right, so here we go. Here we go. All right. So now, instead of going to pure white though, I'm going to go to off-white here. So off-white on these colors. Nice warm white. I end up painting a lot of white, I noticed. I looked at some of these the online painted Abezeth, and a lot of people have done like reds or darker colors. But I don't know. My Abezeth, I guess, is going to look much more angelic than other people's Abezeth. And that doesn't bother me. It's cool. I think Abezeth is a really neat model. And that's one of the cool things I like about the Demons faction, is that you've got these, you got your kind of fleshy, bloody looking demons, but your officers, a lot of your officers, not all of them, but a lot of your officers have these cool fallen angel style models. That's pretty cool. But don't worry. I mean, if he looks way too angelic right now, we'll try to give him a little bit of a darker tone. Okay. So next layer going down. Same thing. Okay, kitty. I'll come hang with you, don't worry. Don't worry, kitty. Okay. So now let's go with the pure off-white. It's our final highlight. So pure off-white. Ooh. And now we're going to be a bit more precise about where this goes. But even then, like I said, when you're layering up white, actually use the final layer to cover a lot of the model, so that there's no mistake. You're looking at white. You are not looking at white. You're not looking at azure. And in order to do that, you have to cover a great deal of the model. You gotta make sure that what it looks like is a solid white object with a little bit of yellowish brown shadow to it, because that's an organic look, right? It's a fleshy organic look here on this white. I don't know if I'm going to finish this model tonight. I'm getting kind of tired, and I know we're only in an hour in on this feed, but yeah, I won't lie to you. I'm getting tired and getting tired. A long morning this morning getting off the boat. I had my wife and my 8-month-old baby with me, and so we were pushing all of our gear, which is a lot more gear than I'm used to traveling with when I travel alone, or even with just my wife. Adding a baby, significantly more gear when you're traveling, so I don't recommend it. I actually wasn't too thrilled about the prospect of taking my baby to Mexico and being on a boat. We had some worries. If the baby got sick, what would we do? What if something really bad happened while the baby was in, say, a foreign country? What would we do? So, but we got over it, and little guy was a champ, and he did well. But I was pushing all of our luggage through the terminal as we're leaving the ship, and my parents need help too. So my parents, because my mom uses a walker, sometimes she uses a wheelchair. So to get her off the boat with her gear is a trying thing. So I had to help them. So I had to carry some of their luggage, some of my luggage, well, all of our luggage, and get all that through customs, and my poor wife taking care of the baby during this entire process as well. So yeah, needless to say, kind of a long morning. Just happy to be here doing some leisurely painting. This isn't like advanced painting stuff, not trying to win any contests. And this isn't a commission either, so I'm not going terribly fast either. I'm just sort of painting as it wills. As God wills it, I guess. That's what Nick, British Legion, would say. Alright, so I changed my mind. I actually am going to add a pure white to this as a final highlight on the wings, because I think it would just give the model a little bit more energy and just show off the fine detail on the wings, because it's a really fine job on the sculpting detail here. The wings are uneven. There's this full wing that Abezeth has, and then you have the other wing. That's just about done. Just about done. And all looking pretty good here so far, right? Okay, so now let's do some armor. Before I do that, I'm going to reload comments again. What's this? Drawing each other inside a hangout. That's a weird one. Let's reload comments. Okay. No. No normal, no other comments. Okay. So here we go. So this time on the armor, I want to go with an NMM gold, but I want to go a little bit deeper than I typically go. So I got to find one of my workhorse colors, beige brown. And beige brown is going to serve as the undercoat here for these. So a bit of beige brown there. Water this down. I'm getting tired, actually. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go here, especially if you guys had some viewers file out on me. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I do end the feed here a little earlier than I had planned, but let's just paint this NMM gold and see if a lot of times you can get inspired to stay on board with your model even when you're a little bit tired. But in general, you shouldn't be painting when you're tired, because you just rush through things and things start looking sloppy, and you don't want to do that, especially not on an officer. Officer, you want to enjoy the painting process. You don't want to rob yourself. But I do want to show you how some of this like gold style NMM happens, because I think it's kind of an interesting process. I'm just gonna darken that. I haven't decided what color I want Abezeth's hair to be. Guess I'll make it like a blonde, maybe even like a platinum blonde. All right. It's a very cool model. Really do love this model. So I just kind of bought myself one not because I'm really planning to do much with him, but just because he is so cool looking. I really wanted to paint one. So I'm really happy that I have time to paint one right now. Wish I was painting Relic Knights, I won't lie. Wish the Relic Knights stuff that I got in on would show up at my door, but it's not going to, so not for at least a couple of days or so. So I figure let's just go ahead and paint Abezeth here. Alright, so there's that. Don't forget the armor on his thigh. There, now you can see with the undercoat where that NMM gold is going to end up, and you know, just that this model is actually going to be darker looking than you originally saw. Alright, it's all looking pretty good so far. Pretty good. Okay, so the next part of the armor process, that dry for a minute, get a sip of Coke. There was a lot of alcohol consumed on the cruise. No lie. And I was no exception. I bought one of those, drink as much as you want things on the cruise, and that turned out to be really handy because it also covers soda and coffee. So I had beer, soda, coffee, wine, whatever I wanted most of the time. On that really fun cruise. Okay, so let's get back to it. So here's where we're at. Now I'm going to start adding one of my favorite colors to this, yellow ochre. So yellow ochre is going to mix into the beige brown. Whoa, whoa. Relax. Yellow ochre tried to commit suicide. So let's mix that up. And now this is actually, this yellow ochre part is really going to be the undercoat. Not so much the beige brown. The beige brown is just giving us a darker starting point. And with the darker starting point, especially a dark brown starting point, it's going to leave us much richer shadows when we start washing it. And that's really all I was doing on that first coat there, is just making sure that when I wash this, it's going to look a little more brown, because I want this NMM gold armor to look kind of burnished, look a little bit more burnished than I normally do when I'm doing NMM gold. So here we go. And starting brown does mean that you have to do more coats than you typically do with NMM gold, but that's okay. This is an officer. He does deserve several more layers than all the other models in his company. And there's this part here where the armor actually attaches to the wing, and I'm going to make that brown as well. There we go. So yeah, next week, Anime Expo. Exciting stuff. Got to get ready for the wall-to-wall demos that is Anime Expo. You might have recall me talking with Richard Carmody about that show and how excited we are to continue on with Anime Expo this year. It's fun. There's just so much energy there in the air at Anime Expo. Some weird stuff, I won't lie, and we've made fun of that on this show too. But overall, super exciting. And with the Ninja lineup of games that we have, I'm just so excited. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see how many non-gamers leave that con and say, yeah, I'm willing to play some more board games, and I'm willing to try out more games with my friends, or even, some of them might be walking away going, oh yeah, I'd be willing to try my hand at painting something or that type of thing. And that's where it's really awesome. If they decide that they want to try to do something like that, or they want to meet at a hobby store, meet a bunch of gamers at a hobby store, and learn more about gaming. It's fantastic. And just so you know, I tend to keep lots and lots of bottles of colors that are fantastic. So this yellow ochre was dying on me. Guess what? Got another brand new bottle of yellow ochre, so I can keep going. So I'm going to add more yellow ochre to my mix. More water. And we're going to keep going. Again, glaze medium is your friend. Even for NMM, you can use glaze medium to get yourself smoother transitions. The key is to just thin. But this is going to be the last layer pre-wash, because I'm going to wash this NMM gold. And then I'm going to highlight it again, just like, so I'm going to basically treat it just like I did the flesh of this model. And if you treat most of your painting that way, even if you aren't quite sure that that's the right technique to use, it's still going to look great. Wow, my cat's really sad. Okay, kitty, I will come see you. Okay. He's really upset. Poor cat. Yeah, don't worry, I'll see that cat. It's okay. Okay. So you can see I'm just getting in these. There we go. And while I'm at it, since I'm going to go... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go blonde hair. I'm going to go white hair. So I'm going to use that cool white. So I'm actually going to come in with this cool white as the undertone, while that first layer of yellow ochre is drying on the armor. I'm going to go ahead and hit the hair with this bluish undertone here, with the intent of going white hair. Should look pretty cool, I think. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright. It's coming along pretty well, I think. I wonder, okay, so for Abezeth, let me look at the Eldorado source here to see. Does he... What color is the sickle and the chains? I think it's just... You can't even see it on the artwork. On the cover of Inferno, it's kind of a... Everything looks kind of black or steely looking. So, I guess I'll do that dark gray style. And maybe add a little bit of a glow to it. So this model is going to have this model will have some involvement to it, which is fun. Let's reload comments here. Okay. Nope. No other comments so far. So we're just going to keep painting. Be very grateful for those who are still part of the live feed. All right. So now, back with Seraphim Sepia. That's right. Still using this wash, this single wash here on this model. So Seraphim Sepia onto this NMM gold. And it's nice. It's going to blend those underlying coats. It's going to show off the detail of the gold. And it's just going to make the model look sharper. Some people, if they want brass, you can actually just leave it and not highlight this any further. You've got kind of a brass colored armor. And that's cool. I'm going to still hit this with some highlights because I want it to look a little more gold. But yeah, you can see it. Well, I don't know if this is going to focus or not, but you can see that it really is picking up the shadows really well. Okay, so there's that. In fact, I'm going to use some of this on the flesh wounds, just because it makes them a little more believable. So those little pinky guys there. All right. Seriously, what a fun model this one is. Okay. So while that wash is drying, just going to do a couple other things. Painting a little bit of the pinkish there, down here at the bottom of the model. And I'll even start painting in some of the flesh, that base coat. So where is my deep skin tone again? Yeah, I gotta play some Eldorado because it's the game right now for me that is really just doing it. It's really just making my hobby the most enjoyable. And I know there's hundreds of games out there, there's hundreds of skirmish games, but there's nothing setting-wise, nothing quite like Eldorado. And Eldorado takes such a different attitude towards a lot of common skirmish game things like deployment and turn and scenarios. It's really, really neat, novel game. You just, in the US, I think it still struggles. Well, it struggles today mainly because people have already heard about the game, but not a lot of people got behind to play it, back when the iron was hotter for the game. That said, I still strongly believe that this game can make a comeback. Can. I'm not saying it will. I think it can. I think there's a with the kind of cool community that we've got behind these games, it's got a legitimate shot at making a comeback. And if not, it stays a niche game. There's still a fan base for it, fairly loyal following, and that's awesome. That's what you want. Okay, quick question. Why did I hit it with looks like a purple more than a pink on my highlight here? I'm going to fix that real quick because my wash is still drying. And we're going to do a little basic skin tone because I've got him, the base I've got him on is basically flesh. So I get to use a lot of the same colors that I did on the model proper on this part. Okay. You can see me just knocking out the quick highlight here. I'm going to use a wash on the bottom to tie everything back together too. So we'll see how that lines up. Hopefully it looks pretty good. I think it will. I'm pretty confident in this thing looking pretty good. Because Abezeth. And Eldorado is super fun. It's the funnest game you may not play. Alright, so still waiting on this to dry. We can do other things too. Let's find it first. Okay, we can do the NMM on the other parts of the model that are the steel color. So I'm going to start with black gray. It's the undercoat. We're just going to work pretty quickly now, because we're doing pretty good on time. Let me take care of a couple things real quick. I'm going to take care of a couple of stitches here with this off-white. I'm also going to paint in part of an eyeball. Ooh, that was weird. That did not do exactly what I wanted it to, but that's okay. There we go. Alright. So now, black gray. I'm going to put some black gray. Mix up the black gray. And this is going to go on the top of the sickle here. You can already see that there's this weird covering on the sickle that I will have to address. I don't know if it's like flesh or who knows. Maybe I should have made a bone type sickle, but it's okay. So we'll do that. Yeah, this is a weird sickle. And there's actually small chains on the model too that I'm just gonna hit with the black gray. The small chains, you don't really do a whole lot to. You just hit them with black gray and they look steel. They look like steel from far away, which is cool. You don't. You're doing with this kind of NMM. You don't want to over highlight it. You might. This might see the chains might see one highlight, but that's about it. You don't want to overdo the chains, because the chains are really just there to help break up the model in parts and provide some additional fine detail. And there's lots of chains on the robe, so make sure you get those. Okay. And you carry across to the back of the model. And get this weird, like, daytime looking Abezeth. Just kind of cool. All right, so the wash is dry. Oops, that's wrong. So let's go back to where we were with that yellow ochre highlight. Start highlighting again. So this is where things get a little more detailed in terms of your highlight, your ability to pick off the edges. So if you are really worried about your control, make sure you're working with a fine tip. Way more important than the size of the brush. Doesn't matter. The brush could be a 3 or a 10 or a 0, double 0. As long as it keeps a nice fine point, you're in good shape. You shouldn't have to be too intimidated to paint any of your models. You can be too lazy to paint your models. There's nothing anyone can do about that, except for you. You can decide not to be too lazy, but yeah, you can do that. You can cite laziness as a means for why you won't paint models, which is cool. You can pay me to paint your models. I'm not going to pass that up. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, this model's fun. This is a fun paint job. You know, for me, stuff like chains and spikes and all that are annoying on models. I think that's one of the reasons why like GW Chaos and some of the privateer stuff has really pissed me off, is because it's just it's like busy work painting, and I don't really want to do busy work painting. I want to paint nice blends, and I want to be able to get nice color transitions and all that stuff. To me, that's the fun side of painting. I realize that may not be true for everybody, so, but for me, it is, and it's great. All right, one more yellow ochre here. Ooh, hold on. What did I just do with the good yellow ochre I had? Here it is. Okay. I'm running out of space on my palette too. Pretty involved model. Even though there's not, you don't see many colors on the model. These are colors that all need to be blended. There we go. Some light there. Showing off the tippy top of that model. And here's the super fine highlight going on the edges of the gold. So again, I am spot applying it where the highlights really should be. Tops of the edges, and more highlights towards the top of the model than the bottom of the model, because I'm going with a perspective of light coming from the top, coming from above the model. So my highlights will reflect that. Okay, pretty good. I like the effect on the gold for the most part. All right, so now let's start working on this steel part. I'm going to start adding some white to the black gray. We are just about, we are going to actually finish this model tonight and get it to my basic standard. Looks like. If you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free to put them in the comment section, either in the YouTube, or you can even do it on the SoCal Tabletop or the Cypher Studios Facebook page. Facebook group, sorry, not the Cypher Studios page. The group. All right. Yeah, this is pretty simple stuff now. It's just highlight, highlight, highlight. Keep blending up towards white. So a little bit more white. I don't know if I need to do like a green glow or anything like that on the weapon. I kind of don't want to at this point. Mixing in this white. Okay. All right. Looking pretty good again. All right. And final highlight. My bloody wing isn't terribly bloody. I may have to fix that. Final highlight. It's more about just a white line here and there. Give the sickle kind of a steely quality. Right, because steel is going to highlight interest in interesting ways. Okay, cool. So now let's do another wash. This time I am going to use this Game Color Sepia wash. Once again, if you're just joining Play It Painted Live, thanks and welcome to the show. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Did my mouse just die on me? Might have. No, it didn't. There it is. Alright, so let me reload comments here. Nope, nothing yet. Wait. Yeah, nothing yet. Okay. It's fine. That's fine. So let's hit it with this reformulated sepia wash from Vallejo Game Color. I'm going to put, now just out of habit, I am going to thin this down a little bit because Game Color washes are notoriously thick, on the thicker side. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to wash the this wrapped handle here for the sickle. Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, and that's actually pretty good wash. I'm gonna throw it here on the flesh part too, on the bottom. Well, it's looking pretty good. It's blending the colors in together nicely. Oh yeah, I may be a fan now. I didn't really like their sepia wash before, but now I kind of like it. I think my bloody wing needs a little bit more blood, so we'll work on that too. Since we've got plenty of time. Still well under 2 hours here. Add a little pupil to this eye on the ground. There we go. Okay. And re-highlight the stitches because I want those to stand out a little bit. So there's that. Cool. Yeah, he's looking pretty good. All right. Now, let's do some blood. Blood is interesting because you need some colors to make this work. You can go with like a saddle brown and actually mix it with true red, which is probably where I'm going to start. We'll see if we need to do any more like that. So, saddle brown, some red, and it's going to give me a rich irony looking blood that I can put on the model. And let's see if I get the color that I'm hoping for. I may even have to put a little brown into this. Looks pretty good so far though. Looking pretty good. And I can, with the, you can actually use the irregular shape of a tip. If you have a strange tip, you can do that. So I'm just going to put a couple of bloody spots on this model. I'll put a little blood on the sickle here, not too much, just enough. Look like it's been used. Right? Just you don't want so much blood that it takes away from the model entirely. You just want enough to show people that, hey, this guy cuts guys. This guy cuts guys. Yeah, that was a great description of what Abezeth does. He's a pretty cool officer. I've played against him a bunch of times, and I've never actually played him proper. But what people like to do with Abezeth is they want to get they try to max out on Infernalist troops. So he's kind of a run lots of troops with him because it gives him a command bonus, and Abezeth is a pretty good combatant. And he's just a sick model. That's all I gotta say. Just fantastic. So there's that. Let's just put a couple of bloody spots here on his robe. Just a little bit. A couple of bloody spots. Make it look like he's been in a fight or two, So even the spikes on the armor there, I'm going to put a little blood on. A little blood there. Okay, and a little bit of blood actually on the wing here. Kind of want that to look bloody. So we'll do that. There. There. Yeah. Pretty good. Looking pretty good. Okay. There. Cool. Just about done. One final thing to do here, and then Abezeth is actually done. Maybe I can play him this weekend. That would be fantastic. Still looking for more games of Eldorado. So if you're in the Southern California area, and this includes you too, Tori, if you want to ever try Eldorado, let me know, man, and I will be happy to meet up with you somewhere. We can't meet up in a GW. We'll get kicked out. But I can meet up at an LGS with you somewhere. Teach you how to play this game because I love it. It's a fantastic game. All right, so final thing to do here, paint the lip black. And now I have a new officer I can play with my demon company. And I've got a bunch of infernal hordes, so I'll reload comments one more time while this is drying. And then I'll take a picture of it, put it up online so that you can see what this model looks like now. It is a really fun model. Oh wait, there are some. Oh, I guess it's not blood. Never mind. Thought I was missing some bloody spots here, but yeah. These Wargamma bases are so good for Eldorado. They look fantastic. Just bloody, it's like you're walking on human, like tortured human skin. And gee, why wouldn't a fallen angel, be walking over some tortured human skin? Sounds pretty right to me. Actually, gonna give that a little bitty highlight. Little bitty highlight, just so you can make sure that you know where the cracks and the fissures are in this tortured human skin. There we go. And yeah, he's done. He is a done deal. Fun to paint. Very fun to paint. Quick model, you can see. Very quick model. Really neat detail on him. I know a lot of you 40K guys might be thinking, hey, this guy looks like Sanguinius. And he does kind of look like Sanguinius, but he is a fallen angel, and Sanguinius is also an angel. So I guess, you don't really need... I'm not terribly concerned about the resemblance there. And if it's intentional, fine. It's cool. If you guys have a point of relation here and you want to play Eldorado because you think, hey, this reminds me of Sanguinius, and I play Blood Angels, cool. More power to you. Go ahead and give the game a shot because, like I said, I love Eldorado. I have no hesitation in showing other people how to play this game and how much I really enjoy it. So, okay, so a couple of last second highlights here, just to really send it home. And I'm going to reload comments one more time. Let's go ahead and let this model dry. Whoa. Okay. I think that's it. I think that is it. And we are almost at the 2-hour mark. So, painted up this model in under 2 hours, which is not terribly fast, but you know, it's a cool looking model. Just let that dry for a minute. I'm going to start put away some of these paints. Overall, had a lot of fun with it. Would definitely paint this model again on commission, but not, you know, this is going to be my personal Abezeth, so I'm keeping him. And you know, if he works out, maybe I can even use him in a game demo. Might be interesting because he's one of the cheaper officers for demons. His rules are a little bit weirder than some of the, well, not really. Demon officers have some weird rules, but yeah. So this is him. Just a cool looking model. I really can't say enough about how much I really enjoy Eldorado models, but yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and close the show. I wanted to thank all you guys for watching. It was fun just painting here and shooting the breeze or whatever, shooting the shit with you guys while I painted this. And yeah, looking forward to trying them out. So if you're in the SoCal area and you want to meet up for a game of Eldorado, or you're looking for me to paint something for you, be happy to. If you want to see the finished pictures of this guy, there's a couple of places you can check. You can look at, you can find me on Instagram at PlayItPainted, or Twitter, same thing, at PlayItPainted, or you can check out our Facebook groups, the Cypher Studio fans. So you just type in on the search bar in Facebook, you can type in Cypher Studios, or SoCal Tabletop Gaming Network. So I think we're going to call it here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.